This is Scott Spears at the 2016 Republican National Convention in Cleveland, Ohio at the Quicken Loans Arena, and we are joined by a conservative icon, Mrs. Phyllis Schlafly. Phyllis, how many conventions have you been to?
Well, I came to my first one in 1952, so you can count them up.
1952 till 2016, how do they differ?
Oh, well, they're very different. A lot of them are peaceful, everything decided ahead of time, and others are very controversial. For example, the 1964 one was really a hot convention, hard fought, and we nominated our candidate, Barry Goldwater, but we did not elect him. The Kingmakers killed him before they let him be elected. And however, the conservative movement was started by that, and it has survived to this day.
Do you see a lot of similarities in Barry Goldwater to Donald Trump?
Yes, in the tactics and in the effort to beat him, yes. But I think there are more similarities with Ronald Reagan in 1980, because we were worried about Ronald Reagan not being a true conservative, which is kind of the often complaint about Trump. And it turned out that he was a very good conservative, but we didn't see that when he was running. We thought Phil Crane was the authentic conservative.
What do you make of a lot of interest in this convention being made of the two former Republican presidents not attending, the last two Republican nominees not attending? Do you make anything of that?
Well, that's the attempt of the sour grapes people to defeat Trump. And I don't think they're going to get by with it. I think it's exceedingly poor grace. And I think you ought to support the Republican nominee unless you're trying to elect Hillary Clinton.
If you were walking up to somebody on the street and you said, this is why Donald Trump should be elected, what would you say?
Why he could be elected?
Why he should be?
Should be. Because he will shake up the establishment and stop the people who've been giving us a long series of losers. And I think he has made immigration a major issue, which I believe it is. And I like the way he talks about issues and immigration and jobs.
Our governor, John Kasich, did not attend this convention. A lot of hubbub was made of that yesterday morning. What do you make of Governor Kasich not attending?
Well, I don't think he was actively seeking the appointment. And he was playing it cool, I guess. But I think it was actually a wise choice on Trump's part. And not because Pence is the greatest guy in the world, but because he's obviously a bid for party unity. And that's what Trump needs, is the people to close ranks and support him. And I'm very irritated at the people who are not supporting the Republican nominee. I think we have a two-party system, and if you don't vote for Trump, you're voting for Hillary Clinton.
Why is there such a division this year, Phyllis? Jeb Bush has said he will not vote. Governor Kasich says he will not support Trump. We don't know a lot. What's going on?
I think the best way to describe it is sour grapes. They're just they were so convinced that they could destroy Trump, and they tried every angle in the book to do it, but they couldn't do it. And I think the people want Donald Trump.
Phyllis, what is the best part about being your age and still be able to come to these conventions?
Well, politics has been a part of my life, all my life. I came out of Harvard in 1945, and I went right into the big Republican election of 1946, where I managed the campaign of a congressional candidate in a Democratic district, and we won. Surprise, surprise, it was a Republican year. And I've just been hooked into politics because I think that's where the action is. And if you want to make a change in the country, it's got to be through the political system in the two-party system.
Do you think by the time this convention is over that the Republican Party will find that unity?
Yes, I really do. I really do. I think the people who say they won't support Trump are really voting for
Hillary.
For the Democrat, and they don't want to carry that blame through their lives.
If by the time Trump speaks on Thursday, the party is not united, is there anything that can be done before the election?
Well, yes, I just think we should call them sour grapes and try to bring them around, because we certainly don't want Hillary to be the president. I don't see how anybody could want Hillary to be president.
Did you make anything last night of the news story of Melania Trump's speech possibly being plagiarized?
No, they probably her handlers thought she should hire some kind of a speechwriter, and he did it. And that's too bad. I never hired a speechwriter, so I didn't have that problem.
Do you ever think Trump is too brash, or is he right on target?
Well, he's a little brash, but there are worse sins than that. And I can remember a lot of reasons that we thought we didn't like Ronald Reagan in 1980, but he turned out to be the best president of the century. And so, Trump isn't my style of speaking, but that's all right. He's a take-charge person, and that's what we need today.
Is there something that particularly you did not like that he has said? Because there are a lot of things that he has said has angered even Republicans. Is there something that sticks out that you did not like?
No, I can't think. I certainly like what he has said about immigration, because he has made that the number one issue, and I believe it is.
Do you think that Donald Trump, everybody says that he has racist tendencies. Do you think that's a bunch of baloney?
Yes.
Why do you think that he's been painted that way?
Because that's the favorite epithet of those who want to destroy a politician. It's very hurtful to be called that, and I don't think it's true. I haven't seen any evidence of it, and I hope people will ignore it.
How will you be at the convention any longer than today, Phyllis?
Yes, I'll be here all week.
All week. Did you still get a charge when the delegates were called out tonight? You were down there with the Missouri contingent. Is it still a charge?
Yes, it is. It's important. We're making history.
Did you like the tribute last night to Bob Dole?
I didn't hear that.
Do you think that it's good that Bob Dole is the only Republican past candidate for president who's shown at this event? Is that respectable on his behalf?
He's the only one who did what?
Who showed up here, who was a past presidential candidate who's living?
Well, that's the attempt of the anti-Trump people to downgrade him in some way. And I think they're going to be shown up as not loyal and sour grapes, and they're not going to benefit by that behavior.
Phyllis, what is your favorite part of the convention? What do you like to do the best while you're here?
Well, my specialty has been the platform committee, and I've worked very hard on that, as you can see in my new book called How We Made the Republican Party Pro-Life. And I follow that very closely. And while I was not on the platform committee this time, my people were, and they were well trained. And we have, I think, the best platform ever.
What do you think makes it the best platform ever?
Because it's right on the major issues. It's right on national sovereignty. It's right on jobs for Americans. It's right on being against bad trade bills and being for jobs for Americans. And it's right on immigration, which I think is a major issue.
Phyllis, when it's all said and done in this life 100 years from now, how do you want to be remembered?
Showing that the grassroots can rise up and defeat the establishment, because that's what we did with the Equal Rights Amendment, and I think that's what we're going to do with electing Donald Trump.
Well, Phyllis, as being a journalist, I have to say, being at the Republican National Convention, to be with Phyllis Schlafly, the conservative icon, this is my highlight of the Republican National Convention. Phyllis Schlafly, still writing for the Eagle Forum. Check it out. You don't want to miss it, and all the things she has done in the past.
EagleForum.org.
EagleForum.org. Phyllis Schlafly, what a pleasure it's been.
Thank you.